Hello students, today I am going to explain the third poem of class 12, Keep It Quiet, written by Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda was really a very famous poet. He was born in the town of Parral in Chile. This Nobel Prize winner poet is known for his simple language. In this poem, he wants us to take a little time out of our life to introspect ourselves and understand the true meaning of our life. Now I read out the poem. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. In this stanza, the poet asks everyone to count to 12 and calm themselves and be still after the counting. He says, for once on the face of earth, we should not utter a single word in any language. We should stop for 1 second and not articulate in any manner. Actually, he wants us to break the barrier of language. He wants us to speak the language of silence that unites us. He also wants us not to make any movement during that silent period. And in the next stanza, he says it would be an exotic moment without rush, without engine. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. The poet says there would be no hurrying and no noise of machine. In this silence, we will all feel themselves to be together. Together, the people will suddenly experience a strange feeling of togetherness. It would be strange because we have never experienced such thing where everything stops. And in the next stanza, he says, Fisherman in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hand. Fishermen in the cold sea would stop working and not harm whales, and man gathering salt would also stop working and look at his hurt hands. He means to say that whatever we do without analyzing is harmful either for ourselves or to the others. Then he says those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivor would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. He means to say those who prepare for war out of jealousy, wars with gas and war with fire can surely win the war, but only after causing death and destructions. They would no longer spend their lives fighting their enemies. They would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers, whom they previously thought to be their enemies. They would move in the shade of trees doing nothing at all. But in the next stanza, poet says, what I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. The poet doesn't want to be misunderstood. He doesn't mean that we should stop all activity. He says that we should remain silent, inactive for some time, for silent introspection. He says that he has nothing to do with death. It is only after death that the person cannot do anything. And in the next stanza, the poet says, if we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. He says we all are single-minded because we always think how to keep our life moving. We are always sad because of never understanding ourselves. And we are in a constant fear of death. We want to accomplish all our tasks in a hurry. And in the last stanza, poet says, perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. The poet invokes earth to make us understand, he says that everything seems to be dead during winter, but later in spring season seems to be alive. The new beauty and new color are added to it. Similarly, after a little silence and stillness of introspection, a man can resume his life with a fresh energy and a new outlook. And in the last two lines, now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. The poet again says that I will count to the 12 and all will remain calm and quiet. Thank you.